Hello there, and welcome to the number one movie podcast, Socks on Movies. I'm your host, Matt, here with my co host, Jack.
Hello.
And today we're doing something a little different. We didn't have a movie to talk about. Life has been busy. So instead, we are talking about our top five movies of the year so far and our top five most anticipated movies of the year coming up. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, just some fun movie merch. This is random. The sweatshirt I'm wearing, see this? It's the ugliest color. This like nasty lime green.
What's the logo?
It's from when I worked on Happy Gilmore
Oh.
too. It's I swear to God, the most comfortable thing I've ever worn in my entire life.
Hell yeah. I think sweatshirts are like getting more comfortable somehow. I don't know, just like every new sweatshirt I put on is the most comfortable
So
thing I've worn.
it's this brand like Aviator or Aviation or something. I think it's like a bougie brand. I found it. They're like $200 sweatshirts.
Wow.
Sandler blessed us. Thank you, Sandman.
Shout out
The
to the Sandman.
the color is like this because I imagine like Happy Gilmore like putting greens and stuff. It like doesn't look very nice to like you don't. You
It's a
wouldn't-
flex.
But it's a flex to wear. It is so comfortable. Like it is straight up the most comfortable thing I own. When I first got it, I was like, oh, this is nothing. This is not really a color I can wear everywhere, but I just wear it in the house.
Yeah.
Just thought it would be funny to point that out. The uh,
A
the
movie that I don't think will be on either of our top fives.
well, it was last year.
Oh, was it?
It was last year.
All right.
Hey,
never mind.
I enjoyed watching it. As someone who was a part of it.
Love that for you.
Thank you. But I guess fun update before we get into it. I shot a short film last weekend.
Woo.
Very fun, very exhausting. Yeah, I guess when this comes out next week. Yeah, I mean, there will be no updates. I'll have done everything up until I can for it. But it was very tiring and very fun, and spent the whole weekend, and it was like really, really hectic. We we shot it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday morning I get a text from our actress, we had two actors in it, telling me that she was sick and throwing up and that she couldn't make it, and she felt terrible, but she like could not get out of bed, and I almost had a panic attack for how
Rightfully
much
so.
we like invested into like this specific weekend. We had all the equipment already. It was like staged at the location, our friend's house, and we ended up shooting everything we could with our actor, everything like he could be in, and then we ended up having to recast her, and we found this girl through like a friend of a friend through Instagram, and she ended up doing really well. And I was very impressed. She came into a very tough situation, day of,
Yeah.
and killed it. It was hectic. We were in like my friend's apartment. It was really hot in there, and we couldn't have the AC on all the time because of shooting, like the noise. So, it was I like barely slept. I ate like shit. My mind was racing like a million miles a second. But we made a movie,
Nice.
and it's awesome. And I got some of the stills back today or yesterday, and they looked really nice. So yeah, just look forward to that at some point down the line.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
But talking about other movies from this year, not mine. We're gonna talk about our favorites so far first. We're gonna get into what we think is kind of the best. Jack, how many movies have you seen this year? New releases. I have seen 18.
I have 22
Okay,
on my
yeah.
list on Letterboxd right now.
This is actually, I think, maybe will be really crazy for you to hear, possibly. Guess how many movies I saw in June.
I'm gonna guess it's not a lot because you've been busy. We go with 5.
One.
Wow.
That's the least amount of movies I've seen in a month in years and years and years and years. It was Disclosure Day, which was our last week episode. I've been so busy that I haven't had any time. I watched half of Charade to prepare. We will be covering Charade at some point soon. I will be re-watching it. Yeah, I really haven't watched much recently, like this month, so my numbers are a little lower than they typically are. I might see The Invite tomorrow, though.
Guess how many I've watched in
Uh,
June?
in June, 24.
28.
That's good.
Huge month for me.
That's hell yeah.
I was telling my friend the other day actually, I'm just becoming like less and less interested in TV. So
That's exactly what became of me when I got really into movies. It's I think it makes sense when you get into movies. You're like, these are just better.
yeah. And so I'm also becoming more comfortable with just throwing on something that I maybe don't want to pay like super close attention to, like a
Yeah,
2000s comedy that
yeah,
I know is like not that great, but and like maybe I'll finish it or maybe I only have an hour, so I'm going to start it and finish it like later the next
yeah.
day. I'm like I used to just kind of if I start a movie, I'm going to finish it, but now I'm becoming more just like lenient with it and checking more things off my watch list.
Yeah, I do that too. Like you can't just be so precious about all of it. Like some things you just gotta. Oh, this is
Yeah.
like I remember last year like I'd fold laundry and watch like Bridget Jones' Diary and like I was paying attention. It was like a fun movie. I was just kind of like oh like I can have it on. I can turn around and I'm not like the movie's not ruined for me because I walked out of the room for a second.
Yeah.
Like there's some movies you just enjoy that way, or like oh I'll start them and then oh I didn't finish that. I'll come back to it in a couple days or tomorrow or something. Like not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I've just been too busy to do that.
No, it makes sense with the film shot and just like all the pre-production stuff you had to do.
It
So
was hectic. Weirdly, I actually have been watching more TV lately. I'm rewatching Attack on Titan with my girlfriend, and
great show.
it's incredible. It's so good.
I
It's
know.
so it like I forgot how good season 2 was because I think at the time it was seen a little bit as a disappointment because we were waiting so long,
Yeah.
and it doesn't give away a ton. But in retrospect, like rewatching it's a really good season of television. I'm just so hyped for season 3 when it's just like banger after banger, and it's like just perfect episode after perfect episode.
Season 3 is like
It's just
peak.
insane.
Couldn't
Yeah.
stop watching like insane
It's
episode after episode.
and she's really into it. We just got to like the big reveal midway through season 2, and
I'm
it's
trying to
awesome.
remember. Oh, midway through season 2. Yeah. Okay.
It's the big one, and you're like, whoa, where did this come from?
Well, I remember watching the first season like when it originally came out back when we were in high school,
Yeah,
and that was
same.
like the big spoiler from the manga that everyone knew.
I might have gotten spoiled. I don't remember. I think I got partially spoiled for it. So I think that's the other thing. Like big thing we already knew was the thing from the season. Now, that's not like the show's fault. Like
Yeah.
everyone was spoiling it, but I think like rewatching it now, I'm like, this is great.
It still hits like dramatically.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so out of
still
nowhere, and you're just like, wait, what?
yeah. Yeah, and like it flows a lot better than I remembered it. But the Bear, just new season of Bear, I have to watch that. There's
Yeah, I will be watching that at some point.
there is some stuff I'm watching right now. So maybe I'm slightly back in my TV era, but generally I'm mostly just again, that's why we talk movies.
Movie heads.
All right, Jack, give me your number 5 movie of the year so far.
Well, before we go in, I wanted to say, or I want to ask you, like, good movie year so far. What do you think?
Good lowercase.
Yeah, good, not great.
Yeah, I think this is pretty typical of like this time of the year. Weirdly, actually, you go back a few years. My favorite movie of the year had come out around now, like a handful of years. Challengers was a spring release.
Yep.
Green Knight was like a summer release. Spring, like
We had Sinners early last year.
Sinners, a very good movie. Yeah, great. We had Oppenheimer like come out like
July, summer.
so like a lot of my favorite movies weirdly would come out earlier in the year, and then like the rest of my favorite movies would end up being in the back half of the year typically. But there'd be at least one like banger. I more have a like I think there are some really, really great movies from this decade. I think this is like a generally like down decade for movies. There's not a lot of things I love as much when I compare them to like past decades. That's a me
Yeah.
problem.
Well, coming out of COVID and the
Yeah, for
writer
sure.
strike and the actor strike and things like that definitely kind of made things a little bit weird in the industry for a bit. I do think last year was like a really good year,
It was a
and
very good year.
2023 was like one of the best years in a long time, I think.
2023 was also really good. I guess I'll say this. I don't think again, this is a me problem. There's not been a 5-star movie for me this decade.
This decade,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stingy with my 5-star ratings, but I had one battle at 5 stars last year.
There's a lot of like four and a
Um,
half, which is great, like amazing. But I think 5-star to me is like it's an energy I feel where I'm just like it's like it just hits like a little bit more.
yeah,
And I just haven't had that yet with any movie, even ones that like come like incredibly close, like Oppenheimer and Challengers and stuff, and like there's some I want to rewatch, and like maybe sometimes you just need a rewatch to get it there. But I think generally this has been more of a down decade overall, even if there's some like very good movies, like a lot of like, let's say, quote, like 4-star ish type movies. Just maybe the level of like masterpiece stuff has not been there. And I think partially, there's a lot of great movies, but, the industry's in a weird spot,
yeah,
which might attribute to some of that. But again, maybe it's a skill issue. I know a lot of people like a lot of the movies I'm like, oh, this is good or whatever, they would rank higher.
yeah. And you have to see how things age and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. This year so far has been good though. Like there's definitely things I like. Like the 5 movies I'll mention like are things I definitely enjoy. Like I didn't feel like I was stretching by any means.
Yeah,
Though I feel like if we did like we end up doing like a best of the year later on, I think there's a lot of stuff I'm anticipating, like as we talk later, but even other stuff that I feel will make this a very solid year. Like there's a lot of stuff that sounds promising, like coming down the pike.
okay. I'm gonna pause there real quick because my nose is running like crazy.
All right, go deal with
I
that.
need to deal with that. One sec.
All right, your nose is better.
Yeah, I've like been not really like sick, but just like I don't know if it's just allergies or whatever, but now also at my parents' house with the cats, the
Yeah,
allergies are gonna get worse.
yeah,
Um, but okay, so I can just transition us right into the number 5. So
yeah. All right, give me your number 5 movie of 2026.
all right, so let's just get into it. I think we have the same number 5, and it's Backrooms.
Yes.
So yeah, we uh, recorded an episode about this, but my internet was not working well that day. So,
Yeah.
but we both liked this film, a decent amount, and I think it was very, very interesting. Great production design, great like just atmosphere around the mystery of the back rooms and what the characters were exploring. A little weak in terms of like the script maybe and
Yeah.
some of the things that it ended with, mainly like the company and trying to tie in this whole like larger lore. But
See, I like that though. Well, I'll talk about it in a second.
yeah, I mean, I like that they didn't focus on that too
Yeah.
much. but they kind of left it open to interpretation, or maybe they're going to make other, backrooms related properties. But definitely a really fun and intriguing spring. I was going to say summer movie, but I guess it was kind
Spring.
of spring release. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of just see Kane Parsons, 20-year-old, like put this really thought through world together and just bring a lot of what he's, developed in his YouTube creation days
Yeah.
to the big screen. So I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, a movie I enjoyed. I do think it works best when you're in the back rooms,
Yeah.
specifically. And I think the production design is really fun. I think the camcorder sequence is one of my favorite sequences of the year so far. Especially when we have like Chiwetel Ejiofor's character like running through, away from the monster, and we get all these like really weird rooms, that get like increasingly like scarier and weirder. And I just loved all that stuff. I thought it was really fun. Quickly, just because that episode never came out, my quick kind of thesis thought on the movie, which I'll share here. Just because I think I really do enjoy the ending. I think the ending's something that's like aged, it's like sat with me well. I was telling Jack on that episode that the therapist was the thing that threw me off rewatch, like, when I was watching it at first, because I didn't really understand why Mary, I think is her name in the movie,
Yeah.
has to be a therapist. It felt kind of random, and then looking through it through the lens of like AI and the internet, and the ages of the characters specifically, I think it is a really interesting, either subconsciously or like intentionally, interesting metaphor for like AI and the internet today, and how a man like was Clark can fall, try to get human connection through therapy and fail, and you know blame others, and then fall into these rabbit holes of you know recreations and mimics of our own reality, and fall deeper and deeper into that until he finds solace and comfort in these kind of morphed, strange, versions of our own reality. And I liked the way the film depict that. And then and I think it does a good job when he's in his fight at the little table scene with all these weird creatures, and they're these replications of humans and things and companions, but they're empty and hollow, and you can rip them and there's nothing to them. And I think like that's just like good fun, like analogies to play with there that aren't like heavy handed, but I think they're fun. And then in terms of like the ending with the scientists, I like it because I think it makes sense in the context. I like that there's a little more of like other people are here and they're seeing it, but I like the way the movie kind of ends it, where you're not getting any more of it, because generally the backrooms is like a pretty simple concept. It's like, oh, it's like the world is getting kind of copied in this distorted way, and it's endless, and no matter how hard you try to figure it out, it's never going to get figured out, and you're just going to get sucked in deeper and get more messed up. And I like that the movie ends on this note of these scientists trying to tell Mary this, and she's kind of like, guys, there's nothing more to it.
Yeah. That's the part that I really am glad they ended on that note,
Yeah.
and didn't try to explain like why this place exists or where it comes from, because I think the natural inclination, especially in a lot of stuff that gets made now, is like we need the explanation. We need to explain why. It's a
Yeah.
manifestation of someone's trauma or something, and it didn't really dive into that. But like you said, there's a lot of like interesting ideas like AI and the internet, and maybe even like memory and mental health and stuff
Yeah.
like that you can project onto it. So I think it's a really interesting film from that perspective as well.
All right. So my number 4 is your number 1. So we will skip that.
Okay.
Do you want to give your number 4?
Yeah. So my number 4 is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Oh, okay. So I have this. We didn't go over our list. I have that number two.
Okay, so yeah, we could just talk about. We might
We
have
yeah we could let's talk about the
some
Bone
overlap.
Temple.
Yeah, I was not a huge fan of 28 Years Later that came out last year.
I
Um,
liked it. I thought it was good.
yeah,
I,
it was good, not
yeah,
great. Um, I think I just like this mode of storytelling a little bit better, where
yeah.
it's more focused on the relationships between the characters. I was like mostly fascinated with Ray Fiennes' character
Dr.
Dalton,
Kelson.
Dr. Kelson, yeah, and his kind of relationship with Samson, the giant
It's
zombie dude,
awesome.
and just like kind of just a two-hander between them for like half the movie, and them trying to figure out like how to live together, understand each other as best they
Yeah.
can, and then on the other side you have this guy Jimmy and
The
all the
Jimmys.
Jimmys,
Yeah.
and you kind of continue Spike's story a little bit, and that part was a little more interesting than what Spike went through in the first one for
Yeah,
me. But
I struggled with like the mom stuff in the first one. I
yeah,
found it a little harder to watch and like enjoy like sitting in that. Where I think this one I was just so pleasantly surprised with how like weird and strange it was and how it like wasn't worried about any kind of like convention. Like it's a
yeah,
weird movie.
yeah, and I mean, it basically just comes down to these two men. You have Ray Fiennes, Dr. Kelson, and the main Jimmy. Forget,
Jimmy.
yeah,
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell, the main Jimmy, and just kind of how they're like two sides of a similar coin, maybe not the same coin, where they're trying to survive in this apocalyptic landscape and deal with their past, whether it's Jimmy and his family history and trauma and stuff that you learn later on, or Dr. Kelson and his like medical practice and how he can try to continue to be a doctor in this time, and also like
He wants
memorialize all
and he
the
wants to help Samson, like
yeah.
he's trying to do something for him.
Yeah, so like that conversation that they have late in the film, just the two of them, is like really impactful, and you really like start to peel back the layers of Jimmy, especially because up until that point he just seems like a raging psycho. But
Yeah.
um, and then the ending sequence with the Iron Maiden and
Yeah.
him just going crazy with the fire and the music, just like so fun. Um, and yeah, I just had a really good time with it, and I hope the third one comes out soon.
Yeah, I'm glad they announced it. I really went for this movie. I was, first incredible, title, The Bone Temple.
Yeah,
Love that.
so much fun.
I love Ray Fiennes. He's probably one of my favorite working actors. He's just been on like an incredibly hot streak lately. Um, I found this movie just really like for how kind of horrifying and like nasty it can be, like really enjoyable and thoughtful. It has a lot of interesting balance, and I think one thing in structurally that's really interesting about this movie is, when you think of like an adventure movie or something, they typically, you're going from A to B, but this movie, like, let's if I guess these movies both have weird structures where it's like A to B to A to B. In the first one, it's like they go back. This movie, they kind of stay and hang out in the same spot, which is weird. Like they're not traveling more. They're just kind of like around the area because they like travel a little bit. They go back to the Bone Temple. They like travel. It's kind of weird. You don't get that a lot in like an action movie like this, where the second movie you're just kind of hanging around the same area that you did in the first movie towards the end. Like I'm impressed of this movie's willingness to be unconventional in that way.
Yeah,
Where maybe the first movie was more like visually unconventional, I think this movie is more like structurally unconventional in how it like handles its characters. I'm really into the way that they build like these really horrific characters out, like these demonic worshippers. I don't know. It's kind of hard to watch, but I also like kind of enjoy like the willingness that they're able to go there. Um, and the way that they play with, the satanic stuff, the way I think Garland as a writer is able to create like what would happen in a world where this happened, where these people don't exist, like where these characters don't understand that the devil isn't real because they were born into a zombie apocalypse. Like all these things that I think are really smart and aren't like um maybe shoved down your face, but they just do a good job of kind of building the world into this really special movie that I think is gonna stick with me for the whole year. Where I almost put it at number one. I thought about it, but for now it's number two. But it's a movie I really enjoyed, and I think it like is gonna hold on for a long time. Like I think it's a movie that will just like be a movie if I revisit it. Be like, yeah, this is still like a very good, thoughtful, like interesting movie with like still a lot to say.
Yep. So what's your number three?
What's my number three? Let's find out. The Drama.
The Drama. Okay.
A movie I liked quite a bit. I think the drama, it's not perfect, but I really enjoyed the Pattinson performance. I think Zendaya is good, even though she's given less to do. I think Alana Haim gives like one of the better performances this year as like an absolute monster.
Great villain performance.
I think it's just like an interesting, well-made movie. I think the editing is doing kind of a lot of heavy lifting, but isn't a bad thing. And I like the structure of it. I think it's kind of imperfect, and like I've listened to a lot of criticisms of it, and I think a lot of them are valid, but I still enjoyed engaging with this movie and like what it's trying to say and how it's kind of portraying these things, and just kind of, the way, I guess spoilers a little, but like how it handles gun culture and how it tackles gun culture is not perfect as like a guy who he's not an American, and I think that difference is important, like that distinction. But I think there is enough there to like make that interesting and thought provoking, and I think that like there's a lot of fun tension in that movie. There's a lot of humor in places that you wouldn't expect, and overall I just came out of that like enjoying it very well. Just like solid movie.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of The Drama. I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people think it's really funny. I do not really find it funny. I mean, at times it's funny. Like when I think my favorite scene is when they're taking the photos and the photographer is just like saying shoot over and over again, and Robert Pattinson is just like cringing really hard, and like that's a great scene. The stuff with the DJ is kind of funny. All of the weird edits to Zendaya, young Zendaya with a gun, like
I liked all that.
it's just like I don't know. I didn't need it.
I'm into that.
People are like, "Oh my god, it's so funny. She's like pretending to shoot people." Like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm not into comedy as much, dark comedy as much as most people, but I don't know. It just didn't really land for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think his style's just like not something that I super vibe with. I do kind of appreciate the commentary, and I think it's interesting from the perspective of like, asking the question like if your partner did something horrible in their past or thought about doing something horrible in this case, like where's the line in terms of forgiveness and reconciliation? I think that's like a good question to ask, and it's a good like conversation starter. And
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
But also of like, how much do you know a person, and like what version of them are you in love with, and like
yeah,
I think that most people don't have that extreme, but I appreciate the thought of that. The conversation of like, how much are you really getting to know someone before you're committing your life to them?
yeah. It's a film that's more fun to talk about, I think, than it is to watch.
Yeah.
Because like I think those ideas are interesting,
Yeah.
but it's like very um, prominently being asked in the film, but I also think they don't really do a great job of like unpacking that and
I think it's a mixed bag.
like
I think it's like that part of it's very much a mixed bag. I wanted more Zendaya, like for
they
sure.
need to like sit down and just have like an honest conversation, but they just like Zendaya kind of acts like it's not a big deal, and Robert Pattinson also acts like it's not a big deal, but like completely spirals out of control. I do think the Alana Haim part is like really funny, where she just gets really judgmental, even though what she revealed about her past is like arguably worse, like
Because
locking some kid in
she
a.
did something
She
like
did something, and it was also like really messed up, like
yeah.
locking someone in a shed. So I don't know. I think
Um,
like on paper, I'd probably like it more, but when I also had a horrible theater experience watching
hmm.
it, so I don't
I
know.
Yeah, I had to go. And the last thing I'll say about the drama is I'm typically not a fan of like we random like TikTok theories or whatever where someone's like, "Oh, this is what happens." Usually those people are not as like literate in terms of like reading movies. But I saw something about the how at the dinner scene where everyone's going over the worst thing they've done, they it is somehow expressed in their actions for the rest of the movie in the sense that they don't believe they can change. So, I guess the one example that's like the easiest is the friend to Pattinson and how he hid behind his ex girlfriend when a dog attacked, and then uh, as the movie goes on, he hides behind Alana Haim as she attacks Zendaya, and like a lot of this to me, reads like these are people that don't think they can change or people can change, and like the actions that you do define you. And so the fact that Zendaya didn't do something but thought about it, they can't see it any other way. Um, and they because they are the way they are, they can't see change in other people. And I don't know. I think it's kind of an interesting read. I don't. I'd have to go back and see fully how much that works the whole movie, but I do think there is something to that. And yeah,
Mm.
I think it's just like a slight little layer that makes their character interactions a little more interesting. But let's move on. Let's get to your number three now.
My number three.
Yeah.
Um, all right, listen. I have to live my truth.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you've seen this movie.
Okay.
I don't think you've seen this movie.
Okay.
My number three, a movie that I randomly watched one day and was like, wow, uh, that was it hit me. It hit me, you know. And like I said, I have to live my truth. I'm a hopeless romantic, and my number three movie is People We Meet on Vacation. The
What is that?
the Netflix rom com, starring Emily Bader and Tom Blythe,
Oh,
based on the novel, I believe, of the same name. Um,
wait, yeah, wait. Okay, so my our friend Dylan, my roommate, he was watching some of this movie, and I like walked in, and I'll be honest, it did not look good.
I have to live my truth.
I'm
Um,
I'm
I
happy for you.
I really liked this movie. I think it
Okay.
was as as good as like a straight to Netflix like rom com can be. If this book was adapted by like a different studio, it could have looked a lot better. The on location production design, all that could have been a lot better. But look, Emily Bader, season tickets, she's got the juice. All right.
You have the highest rating of anyone I know on
Yep.
Letterbox
Don't
for
care.
it.
Don't
No,
care.
no, no. That's I respect you. Live your truth.
It's a good movie.
I won't be watching it, but I'm happy for you.
Basically the concept is these two people meet, I think, when they're in college. They go to the same school, but they're from the same hometown, and they didn't, I guess, know each other growing up. But they are driving back home from college one summer, and they are really clashing at first. She's kind of a free spirit. He's kind of like a type A, like by the book kind of guy. They end up like, I forget how, but like going on a vacation the next summer or something, or they go camping. And basically every year they go on vacation together. So they're like vacation friends. Um, and you travel with them throughout a couple, different years of their life on different vacations they go on. So you get to, go to all these different settings. You get to go out, in the woods in Canada. You're down in New Orleans. You're in
Oh, goody.
Barcelona. And like, look, the production, like, you wouldn't really even know that you're in any of these places, except for New Orleans. New Orleans kind of,
Yeah.
feels a
Okay.
little vibey, but um, it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun
Okay.
concept, and the two leads have chemistry, and it's
Okay.
cute, and it's romantic, and it's fun, and I had a great time. And
I'm happy for you.
Emily Bader, beautiful, just like has the juice. I'm like sign me up for whatever she's going to do next. Um, I believe the
Dil-
author of this novel has another movie coming out, so I'm excited for that too. What?
Dylan, Dylan was. I'm remembering now. He told me about like, I asked him after like what happened in the movie, and he was all annoyed. And he was like, "It was fucking stupid, man." And he was like telling me, and then he was telling me, I was like, oh, "Yeah, that sounds pretty fucking stupid." I
No,
was getting annoyed, but I don't remember fully, and I'm
it,
happy
it
for
takes
you.
it takes a couple left turns, and it has a couple moments where you're just like, no, what are you doing? Like, you belong together. Don't do this. And it's,
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit just
Okay.
works on me, man.
Okay.
It just.
Um, we went over my number two. So what's your number two?
Okay. My number two is Project Hail Mary.
Okay,
Um,
I have that a little lower.
yeah,
Not my top five, but yeah.
I just had a lot of fun with this movie. I love Gosling doing his thing, just being a goofball in space. I thought the production design was beautiful. A lot of really great practical effects too. Going in, I didn't really know much about the story. I didn't really know anything about Rocky, and so just seeing, his character, Rocky, just like be just this fully formed, like
Rocky was great.
super complex character, who's also like just really funny and really cute despite being a rock. And Ryan Gosling having chemistry with a puppet, like
Yeah.
the goat. Um, but yeah, I just thought it was really sweet and really fun and really exciting and just like a gorgeous movie to look at in IMAX. I just had a great time. And yeah, it's a little long, I think.
It's definitely a little long.
Parts of it are like the flashback sequences maybe don't work as well as the rest of it. It feels like it ends a couple times, but then it keeps going. Um, but I was invested at that point that I didn't even really mind. I was just like, give me more Rocky, give me more Gosling, give me all this cool stuff. And so, it was one of the first movies that came out this year, and there's only been one other movie that's topped it for me so far. I mean, there's been a lot of good movies, but I thought this one was really fun and something that I think is gonna, last in my top 10 probably through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I liked it. I just don't think it was maybe my thing 100%. I it's maybe a little too cute for my taste for a space movie. I like something a little darker when it comes to space movies.
I think there's room for both.
There's room for both, but I don't know. It wasn't hitting the spot for me as much. I like it. But it what didn't blow my mind. I actually found the editing a little frustrating. I thought it was very like sloppily edited and choppy. I felt like it was trying to copy the vibe of Interstellar without like the precision of that movie as much. And I like Lord and Miller. But it's still fun. It looks good, like, more than you can say about a lot of movies these days. I think like Gosling's character could have been written a little better. Just
Yeah.
I think his characterization's like a little weak, and I actually liked the flashbacks, but I think they could have been better too. I think they're just some of those things. And then the ending just being way too long. I don't like how happy of a note it ends on, but that's me. I think it kind of loses a little juice because of that.
I liked
But
it.
I like it. I think it's good. It does lose a full star for his name being Grace because of Hail Mary, full of grace. Um,
Yeah, I
Fuck you,
mean
Andy Weir.
the Eddie
That's
Weir's
rude.
a kind of corny guy, but you know.
That's honestly like so annoying of him. Hail Mary, full of grace. Shut up. Shut up. Ugh. No, it's solid though. Rocky's great. That part's fun. It's a little too. If it was like shorter, I'd probably come out of it feeling a little better. But it was cool in IMAX, and I like the way that the IMAX screen it changed aspect ratio from in space to flashback. I think that was like a really useful thing in terms of just putting you in the right perspective. So yeah, I guess I'll give my number one, and
Yeah.
then you can give yours. My number one movie of the year so far is Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Have you seen this yet, Jack?
I still have
You
not seen
have
it.
to see it.
I will
It's
at some
so fucking good. It is so funny. There was a lot of hype about this movie coming out. I had heard for months about how funny this movie was. And I had gone back. I had seen Blackberry by Matt Johnson. So I had a sense of his style. I had went back and watched some of Nirvana, the band, the show. And it's silly and weird. Very like 2010s internet, for sure. But this movie was just so funny and refreshing, and it is very much like a rip or on Back to the Future, but like I think in a really funny and engaging way. I haven't seen it since. I would like to rewatch it to kind of see if some of the really funny things are still hold up or if it's a lot of shock value. But I was just constantly impressed with. They didn't have a script on this movie, apparently. They were just fucking raw dogging it and just going in and just filming shit and figuring it out in the edit. And the way this is like the best edited movie of the year because it makes, when you watch it, Jack, you'll see it is so well constructed, and the VFX and the things they're able to pull off. You're like, did they do this? Were they actually able to do all these things? They make this stuff look so like effortless and seamless that I still don't know what's real or not in this movie. Like I still can't fully figure out what they were able to like accomplish in this movie. It is so funny and clever and ridiculous, but also moving. Like the ending of this movie actually like got to me. I think it's like a really lovely movie about friendships with people that kind of annoy you a little bit, but you still love them, and like you know, even if they bug you, like at the end of the day, you're like, God, I don't want to not have this person in my life.
It's beautiful.
It's so good. I'm really, I had such a good time in the movie theater. It was so funny. Yeah, I'm just so impressed with a movie like this. I hope there are other people that kind of can take inspiration. And, you know, I'm excited for his Tony movie now. Not a movie that's on my top 5 most anticipated, but a movie I am looking forward to nonetheless because Matt Johnson I'm fully in the bag for now.
Yeah, he's so funny. I've seen a little bit of their web show, and it's they just have like a very unique sense of humor, and I've heard great things about this film. I didn't get around to seeing it in theaters, but I will definitely check it out at some point soon. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. To think if there's any other last thoughts I have about it. Just a ride. A lot of stuff that I was like shocked that they like pulled off and got away with, and I just
Yeah,
love
I've
the
heard a lot of
creativity of it.
stories.
The one thing I will say I think is interesting is so I was reading this book at the beginning of this year called A Confederacy of Dunces. It's a this famous comedy novel from the 60s, I believe, about this kind of fat loser living in New Orleans. It's a great book. It's really really clever, really well written, and apparently this movie started as an adaptation of that book, where they were going to go on a road trip, which I don't know how you do because Confederacy of Dunces is very grounded in New Orleans, but they didn't work. And famously, I was doing some research. Confederacy of Dunces is a notoriously cursed, they call it, like one of the cursed properties that like no one can like adapt it correctly. I think if you did it, it could be really funny. But they scrapped it. They were like, this isn't working, and they just decided to reimagine what this movie could be. And that's how we got this. So just cool, just cool stuff. All right, take it away with my number 4 and your number 1.
Yeah, it is the sensation horror movie Obsession.
A movie we spent a lot of time chatting about.
Yeah, it it I don't think it'll stay as my number 1 for the rest of the year, but
Yeah,
it's a movie that has stuck with me a lot, even outside of all the like discourse and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely taken over the internet, and you kind of can't get away from it just continuously being talked about. But I've enjoyed engaging with that. It's even just like leaving the theater because I think we saw it like opening weekend, so before
yeah. We
all
did.
the theories and think pieces were coming out. I think we both really enjoyed it and were kind of blown away by Indy Navarrete and just like her insane performance, and just like how layered the film was. I think we recorded our podcast like the next day, so we
We
didn't
did.
even really have too much time to like really let it digest and hear what other people were saying. We just dove right into it and had really positive things to say about it. So it continues to stick with me. My sister, right before we started recording, was texting me about it because she just watched it
Yeah.
again. And yeah, definitely something that I think I'll be revisiting at some point this year, and a film that'll probably stick around in the cultural zeitgeist for a while, just because
Oh,
of
yeah.
what a sensation it was. And even aside from that, like Backrooms was kind of a sensation, but I think Obsession was like just a really effective horror film that is
Yeah.
pretty high concept, not too much to really think about on
Yeah.
paper, but gets into this deeply layered story
It's
about.
effective. It's just
Yeah,
like it's effective at what it does. Yeah, I could see myself moving it up to 3. I think I feel strongly about the Bone Temple and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. But I really enjoyed Obsession. I've enjoyed engaging with it too. I think the more I think about it, the more I stand firm in what I like about it. It's still the only horror movie in the last like 2 years or so to scare me. Um, I was just really just disturbed by some of it. In positive, good thing. Yeah, just yeah, a solid, fun, like obviously not perfect, but I think like really effective at what it does and gets right. And yeah, I think some of the conversation around this movie is like a little ridiculous, as is a lot of conversations about movies. But I think it's just like a good, solid, like horror movie that understands what it's doing and like maximizes its potential in a lot of those things, to create something that's like genuinely like interesting and engaging. And for as much slack as Curry Barker has gotten for being like young and like this, like he does a really good job of like making something that has created this much discourse and thought in how these characters are portrayed and considered. And I think he does a really good job with it, and I really enjoy this movie.
yeah, 100%. It's been dissected by TikTok like so many times, and like
Yeah.
I totally agree that like Barker's direction and writing and everything here is like really really good. But there I saw this TikTok video that was like, oh, the scene where like Nikki does this, like it's a symbol for this kind of abuse and this like blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I don't know, I think he just put that in there because it was like creepy and
Yeah.
weird, and
No, no,
it's
but the thing with movies like that especially is like you might not think about it subconsciously, but those things are built into it and then it creates conversation. Like
yeah,
I definitely believe in like auteur theory, but I don't think every single thing, the director is necessarily thinking of. It's when you create this thing and then there's other pieces and then you can gauge that from it. Like not every bit has to be intentional to fit a narrative
Yeah.
necessarily. Like
No,
if it
I
comes,
agree.
and yeah, his direction's maybe not perfect or whatever, but I think what I was saying earlier, I made a short film this weekend, and I think what people don't understand, especially when you're making something that small a budget, is like how hard it is to like have it like film a day. Like if you are filming a movie and you're looking this way, like you have to light for this room, like everything you're seeing in my screen right now if you're watching this. But we had a shot where we had to turn the camera. There was a move. And there was a few shots where you move. Now you have to light everything, but you have to light it so that it looks good everywhere. Like not that it's just blank, but like when you turn and like maybe the light changes a little bit, like and then we have a track and we had a track and we had to level the track. It takes a long time. Like I think people don't realize like the more like quote unquote interesting you try to make a movie or like if you don't have a budget, it is really hard to like make your day if you're like we're putting everything on tracks, we're moving everything around. Like I think having done it on a smaller level, it's impressive what they're able to accomplish for what they have.
Yeah, it's such a technical and logistical challenge, and like every time I see behind the scenes from a film, and there's just so much going on, I'm always blown away at like how much goes into it and how specific everything has to be in order to get the right shots and make everything look good, like you're saying. So
It's
definitely impressive that
yeah.
they're able to pull this off.
So that's our top five of the year so far. Now let's get into our top five most anticipated.
Yeah.
I'll since you just went, I'll start it off. And I tried to think, maybe a little outside the box. Just some things that maybe are a little funkier. My number five is the upcoming John Wilson documentary, The History of Concrete.
Okay.
Have you
Tell me
do you
more.
know, do you know about this?
I feel like I've heard of it. Maybe on a
So
different podcast.
John Wilson, local legend around these parts, is a documentarian who had the show on HBO called How To with John Wilson. You should watch it. Everyone listening should watch it. It is genuinely fantastic. It's only 18 episodes, and they're all about a half hour each. And it is this show where he goes like how like the episodes are like how to put up scaffolding, how to improve your memory, how to cover furniture, and on his journey to record around New York, and about a topic, he will dive into all these wild and interesting little pockets of New York or America and the way that we live and interact. And he is such a humanist documentarian and so good at engaging with the world that I'm thoroughly impressed with the what he was able to do. And that show was great. And now he's coming out with a documentary that premiered at Sundance to very good reviews called The History of Concrete. Which is I'm looking up the log line on IMDb. A filmmaker applies lessons from a Hallmark movie writing workshop to pitch a documentary about concrete. And I watched a little thing he did. He's very funny, and like this, it's going to be a funny documentary, which I'm excited about. But his idea was like, how can I make a topic that sounds like the most boring thing ever into something that people would want to watch? And I love the way that he challenges himself. And, Nathan Fielder is a producer on How To. And I think they all come from this world of, people who are trying to push the documentary medium in a really interesting direction and a new direction, and kind of blur those lines in interesting ways. And I am just really excited for what he's able to do. And I can't wait to watch it.
Yep, you definitely sold me on it. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes out soon. Check that out.
It comes out in the fall.
Okay,
Just got I think picked up by Magnolia Pictures.
cool.
All right, let me hear your number five.
Yeah, so a lot of different films coming out of Cannes and stuff that were competing for my five spot, but I think back to this filmmaker's previous work, and I'm just really interested to see where they go next. So my number five is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
So that's my number three.
Oh, okay. So we got I know we got a little overlap, but yeah, I was very fascinated by I saw the TV Glow, a film I definitely want to revisit in the next couple months. And I think Jane Schoenbrunn just has a very unique style, and visually, and also just what they're interested in thematically. And I've heard good things about this film. I've tried to kind of avoid, trailers, spoilers, anything. I know like very little about the concept, but you know, I'm in. I'm whatever they do, I'm in for. So I will be there opening weekend to check out what's going on with
Yeah,
Camp Miasma, and yeah, I'm very interested in their style and just their visual language. So
yeah. I'm so it's my number three. I'm very excited for that movie. It's weird. So I did not love We're All Going to the World's Fair, a movie I did not connect with at
yeah,
all.
I liked what they were going for, and I think you can kind of see that a little bit, you know,
I
better
there's
portrayed in TV
there's
Glow.
such
But
a connection between internet and media and the trans community. Um, and as you probably know if you're on Twitter, like every other account is like a trans person. Like they love the internet. This is a thing. That's like trans people
no,
just
yeah,
like love.
Twitter.
They love Twitter. That's how you know. Like Jade Schoenbrunn is like the most prominent trans filmmaker, and also just like chronically on Twitter, which I think is really funny. But I liked a lot of things about TV Glow, and it sat with me well. But I didn't love it, and I again, it's not like a movie for me necessarily. Like it wasn't made with like me in mind. And so I'm curious to rewatch that and like see how it works because I think the things I liked about it were the things that were like less of a focus. But I think they're a really like interesting filmmaker and like have a lot of big ideas, and I think they're one of maybe when you get into people that are quote like Lynchian in that sense, like I think a lot of people aren't, and I think it's hard to be because Lynch was such a specific type of filmmaker and like an earnest filmmaker in a very dark way. But what I like about Schoenbrunn is that I think they're getting closer, at least to the idea of like the internet's relationship with Lynch, or like kind of the weird unexplainedness of like modern technology and it's like media and its relationship with us. And I think that's like building off of some of the stuff that Lynch had done in terms like in other thematic ways.
Yeah,
And looking at the trailers for Camp Miasma, it just looks weird and interesting and like using kind of different types of like fun effects that like give it a different like pop and personality. So, even if their other films haven't worked for me yet, I'm just excited to see where this one goes, and on paper it sounds like something I would be really into. Um so I'm very excited and optimistic that this is going to be the Schoenbrunn movie
yeah,
that really resonates with me.
yeah. I think the Lynch comparisons are apt, and yeah, there's a lot of Lynchian, thrown around a lot, but yeah, I just think their visual language is great. The themes of media and how we relate to that and how it relates to identity and our experiences, things like that. Very interesting. So yeah, very excited for this as well.
Um, do we have the same number four?
What was your number four?
I moved it around, but
Oh, just what is it?
Werewolf.
Yeah, okay. That's mine as
Uh,
well.
yeah. So Werewolf. I was excited, and then the trailer came out the other day, and I was like,
I didn't watch it.
it's awesome.
I
I
know
think it's worth watching. Like, there's nothing really in it. Like,
I I'm trying
no,
to
they
I'm trying to
don't.
do this more where I do want to go in as blind as possible, but I'll still watch trailers just to like get hype. But Eggers is such a like master at just setting a atmosphere and production design and just like all the period accurate costumes and things like that. Like I just want to sit there opening night and just take it all in for the first time.
I'm,
If
I'm
I can
gonna try
avoid
not to
trailers.
watch anymore, but I wanted to see. I was so
I
curious.
saw the first like 10 seconds and I was like, yeah, it looks good. I'm in. I'm like, I'm already
Yeah,
in. I'm
yeah.
already gonna see it like
It,
Christmas night probably. Like,
yeah, like it looks cool. It looks like gnarly and mean and
hell
like
yeah,
bloody,
let's
and
go.
I'm just like, yeah, like give it to me. I think it feels a little more in line with The Lighthouse, which I feel is my favorite of his, a movie that we, hopefully we'll cover on this at some point.
We are planning an Eggers episode, so
Some
stay
point
tuned.
down the line. But yeah, it looks really cool. Like that's just it. It looks badass. It looks nasty, and I'm on board. So sign me
Yeah,
up for that.
we got Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was good in Nosferatu. Lily
Yeah,
Rose Depp, who was incredible in Nosferatu.
yeah.
One of my
She
favorite
looks gnarly in this
performances.
one too.
I can't wait. Who else? We
Yeah,
got Willem Dafoe, of
Willem
course, just
Dafoe.
an Eggers classic. I'm just scrolling through the cast. Okay, Valeria Karaman, who plays the mermaid in The Lighthouse, I believe.
Good for her.
A model who is not really
Nice.
much of an actress, but has a very unique look, and so excited to see
Cool.
what she's doing in that.
Yeah, it
It's gonna be
seems
great.
pretty,
It's gonna
pretty
be great.
awesome. All right, we did my number three. Let's hear your
Okay.
number three.
My number three is Digger,
Yep.
starring Tom Cruise. A film that I don't really know much about, but
None of us really do.
it's just going to be the Tom Cruise show for the next 6 months, and I'm here. I'm like,
I'm
Cruise
here for
pilled
it
to the
too.
max.
Yeah.
I think he's fully going for it in this movie and is going to try to win an Oscar. So like,
Let's
I
have it.
just release it. Like, let me see it right now.
Let me see it right now.
I've seen like a little bit of the his, I guess it's his costume. I don't know. I almost don't believe it because it looks nothing like him.
No, I think the leaks online weren't true.
Okay, thank God, because I was like,
One of them was from another movie. One of them was from a Mission Impossible movie, and the other one was from like just a different person or something.
okay, but yeah, I mean, I'm just ready. Like, I need to see Cruise in a new movie going for it, and
I just want to see like honestly, I do want to see a trailer because I just want to kind of know what I'm getting myself into. But like in a good way. I'm like I'm here for it. I'm going to see it regardless, but like what is this thing?
I almost don't even want to see a trailer to
I
this one
I
either.
will. I know I will. I
'Cause
can't help myself.
I don't know. Like, there's I'm looking at Letterboxd right now, and there's a log line, but I don't even want to read it.
I mean, the log line is like so vague. Who like
Yeah, I mean, the tagline of just like comedy of whatever proportions, like,
yeah.
tells you nothing. Inarritu, a filmmaker that I don't have like a huge relationship to. Like, I do like Birdman. I never saw The Revenant actually.
Oh, really?
And then I know he's got a couple other films that are
I know a lot
well
of
known,
people
but
aren't like on board with him. I'm a big fan of Birdman. I'm a big fan of The Revenant. I did not like Bardo at all. I think Bardo is like it's an interesting mess, but it's like a big mess, and I don't think it works kind of at all. I think it's like one of the most self-indulgent movies like of the last 10 years. I think that movie is very bizarre. But like Babel's, I remember thinking it was all right. I haven't seen that movie since I was in high school. He's a guy I like, but I think he's polarizing. And out of like the three amigos, he's definitely the most polarizing. And I think his style can be really hit or miss for people. But I'm more on board with him than most, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what he can bring to this.
yeah, it has a chance to be a disaster, but even then, it'll be interesting to talk
yeah,
about.
I think Tom Cruise would enjoy it if it'd be a disaster, but who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so what's your number two?
Two. My number two, again, this is just based off seeing one like teaser trailer. Is the upcoming Robert Pattinson movie Primetime?
Okay.
A movie I like didn't know a ton about, and then I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, "Wait, this looks incredible!"
Great trailer.
Really
I
great
did see
trailer.
this one.
I and then so I'm just looking up the filmmakers because I think it's two people directing it, or it's one guy who. So Lance Oppenheim is the
Yeah.
director, and know a little bit about him, but he is a very like well regarded documentarian. I saw part of his documentary show, Ren Fair. It's 3 episodes. I watched 1 episode of it, maybe like part of two, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was he has a really unique style. I think visually, in terms of modern documentarians, I think he's someone pushing it in a really interesting way, just trying to add something new to it. And so I think he's a really good choice to make a movie about like one of the most polarizing TV shows that's like changed like modern landscape a little bit, in the sense of like now we have like these like TikTok pages of people like going up to these like guys on the street or online, and like I'd watch clips of To Catch a Predator on like YouTube, like compilations of like funny moments, crazy moments, because like it gets dark though. It's funny, but it's dark.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very like mid 2000s show that was like, let's, expose these like predators and stuff, but there's a very like weird kind of dark element to it that now we
Yeah.
look back on and are like, was this like the best idea? I don't know. I know I think it was a documentary that came out last year about that
Was it
show.
called Predators?
I think so.
I think it was called
I do want to
Predators.
watch that.
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty good. I'm looking forward to this movie. It's not in my top five just because I have really no relationship to the show To Catch a Predator and
I just think it's like the
Chris.
Pattinson of it all, and
Oh,
like
I'm very excited for the Pattinson of it all. Yeah,
I think it's like Pattinson in like a dark, like crime adjacent like news thriller. Like it feels like Pattinson's Nightcrawler, and like to me, I'm like, oh, that sounds so awesome.
yeah, he's
Uh,
one of my favorite actors, so I'm very much looking forward to whatever he does.
yeah, and like when he was first announcing this, I had heard about it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm like, sure. But now watching this trail, I'm like, I get it. Like this looks really sick, and
Yeah.
hopefully it's great because yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, let me get your number two.
All right, so my number two is Fjord.
Okay,
This film premiered at Cannes, I believe, and got
it did.
good reviews. I think it won the Palme d'Or, right?
It did win the palm.
I think it got some mixed reviews actually. Like some people like really liked it, the
Yeah,
jury really liked it, but some people I think kind of were out on it. But it
yeah.
stars Sebastian Stan and Renata Reinsve, two actors that I really love and connect with. Directed by Christian Mungiu.
Among you.
I haven't seen any of their other films, but I've heard,
Well,
some of them are really
you
good.
have to tap into 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days.
Yeah,
Which won the Palm in 2007,
yeah,
2008. It is a harrowing film. His best movie, I think, that like I've heard. At least it's the only one of his I've seen. I've seen part of one of the others, I think, but it is like a genuinely like fantastic and like well shot movie. It's one day in the life of a girl helping her friend try to get an abortion during like um when abortion's illegal in
Romania.
Romania. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is yeah, a really fantastic movie. So I'm on board with Fjord. I'm maybe a little less excited than you after some of the mixed reviews of it. But I'm down. I'm going to see it.
yeah. I just think it has a chance to be an Oscar contender. It's got some very interesting performances behind it. And it's about, some interesting subject matter, I think. This
Yeah.
family moves from Romania to Norway and like really struggle with adapting to the culture, and I think they're like probably pretty conservative Christian family in a very like liberal and progressive country. So interested to see how that plays out. I think there might be
Yeah.
some annoying discourse surrounding this movie, but
Probably.
I've never shied away from that, so I will, be interested in how that goes. But yeah, mostly in it for the Sebastian Stan and Renata Reinsve just interesting leading performances and
Yeah.
interesting subject matter. So looking forward to that one.
All right, my number one.
Yep.
Now, I was telling Jack before we started, I don't like this is probably my number one most anticipated, but I don't know if like it's on the same level of like last year, like One Battle and like Marty Supreme. I was like so gung ho for. I could not wait. And now I don't have a movie of that like pedigree that I'm waiting for in the same way, but I am very excited for this movie as I am for some other ones. So the one I have picked for my number one most anticipated is Resident Evil, the new Zach Kreger horror film. And, I really loved Weapons. I was a big fan of Barbarian. I think I'm just all in on Zach Kreger as a filmmaker. I think a lot of these guys have maybe a kind of like a glossy kind of visual style, which I like kind of want them to kind of like expand themselves a little more out of that kind of slickness and maybe try to their craft like push it a little farther into something less conventional. But I think he's a really good filmmaker. I think he has a smart eye and everything. I'm not a big Resident Evil like video game player. I played like part of one of them. I played a part of another. I think the concept of the way he talked about it, that it's not like adapting one of the games, but adapting like the mechanics of the game onto a new character, like a new
Yeah.
person.
How it feels to play the game, I think.
That to me is awesome. And like he was on Blank Check. I don't know if you listened to that episode. He was on the Fargo episode.
Yep, I did.
And he talked about how it considers this like his Evil Dead, where he's just moving the camera around and like, I'm forgetting the kid's name who's playing
Austin Abrams.
Austin Abrams is like his what's his name to Sam Raimi. Why am I forgetting his name? I feel so dumb right now.
Can't help you. But I'll
Bruce
say,
Campbell.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
It looks
His,
like an interesting film.
I think it looks so fun. It looks like such a good time, like a horror action mystery film or whatever. Even just a horror. I don't know how much mystery is really in it, but like horror action where it has the potential to just be like an incredibly fun movie that's like so well made. And I think that combination is not something that you always get. And I think this can just be one of those movies that kind of, he builds on his style even more if we get something like really, really special in this world. And yeah, I think it just looks like an absolute blast.
Yeah, I know there's a trailer. I don't know if I watched this one either.
The trailer looks really good, and I think it builds in all those mechanics of like one guy who like if you're getting Austin Abrams who like was in Weapons as the guy who's running around being like wacky. You're just transposing that guy into this world and just having all the worst things ever happen to him over the course of a night sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, and he's also in Whale Fall coming up later
Yeah.
this year, so he's just
Austin Abrams gets into a situation is like a new genre now.
pretty much. Yeah.
And it looks so fun and I feel like Kreger, as whenever I hear him talk about it, he has a lot of he sounds really intelligent and passionate, and I think he has the right mindset in terms of how to make this effective. So yeah, I really think this is going to be a banger. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I enjoyed Barbarians and Weapons. Not, films that I loved necessarily, but I think Resident Evil has a chance to be his best work. So looking forward to this one.
All right, let's get your number one.
My number one is, of course, Dune Part 3. I mean, just let's freaking go. Bring me back to Arrakis, baby. Put me on a sandworm. Let's party. I'm so looking forward to this. I've read the book Dune Messiah.
Oh, you did?
I can't wait to see how Denis adapts this because the book is very different from the first Dune book. It's
what I've heard.
a lot shorter and there's a lot less action. There's some action, but like not to the level of the first novel. And so I think Denis just gonna put some crazy stuff in it. He's gonna maybe take some creative liberties. I don't know, but I did see the
The
trailer.
trailer.
It looks really good.
The trailer looks pretty action packed. So I'm curious. Like, someone was saying like, yeah, he's like maybe taking parts from like another book, maybe like kind of combining some stuff, which I'm fine with. Like, just
Yeah,
make it good.
I trust him at this point to, keep the Dune lore in a place that is, at least in line with the spirit of the books. I know in the first two movies he makes some pretty big changes, but I think for the most part, like, keep things fairly, you know, adaptable and in line with, what the books are trying to say and the message of the story.
Yeah,
And this one also has Robert Pattinson, and I'm very
yeah.
excited for his character because his character is a little freak, and so we get to see
His character looks fun.
more Pattinson being a weird little guy.
Yeah,
My favorite genre. So I mean, just sign me up. Anya Taylor Joy as Alia, like, let's
she looks
go.
awesome.
She looks great.
Florence Pugh looks crazy, and I saw someone be like, "How? I don't even know what part of the movie, like book, this was from." Like,
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff in it that I think is just going to expand on the book because the second book is really just like there's not a I mean there's stuff there that's going to be really awesome when you see it on screen, but for the most part it's kind of like, okay, why did he continue on after the first book? I think Denis got to have some ideas of what he
we,
wants to show and
I hope
what.
they show the Navigators
Oh yeah. I
because
mean,
they're in the Lynch one in the
yeah, they
beginning.
look crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Lynch Dune. We don't need to talk about that one. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this.
This one's probably like if I had to make a top 10, it's in there. I'm excited for this one for sure. I think it's gonna be awesome. It looks really good. I'm such a sucker for like an actual star-studded cast, and like the fact that we have like all the people in this one,
Yep.
just makes me really excited. It seems like an absolute blast. I'm all for our big sweeping action sci-fi epics with a bunch of incredibly hot people in them. So yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be a really fun movie. Hopefully, Denny can land the plane.
I'm sure he will. I trust him. It's gonna be great.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
Any
it.
final thoughts?
Nope. I mean, just thinking. I think it'll be a good second half of the year. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
all these movies and more.
Yeah, kind of like a slower summer overall, but
I mean, we have the Odyssey coming out, which we didn't talk about, but that's coming out in like less
which
than two
we're
weeks.
both excited for that. But yes,
Yeah.
slower summer overall though. It's really kind of late August, like early September, where things really start popping more. But
Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah,
a packed fall for
I'm
sure.
excited for all that. In the spirit of 2026 stuff, album to shout out this week. Another one I don't own, but I'm just gonna point. Is this album called "Leaves to the Sun" by Goshawk. I discovered it last week. It's kind of like a chill indie rock album. It's only 25 minutes long. I'll put it right there. It was cool. I was digging it. I put it on and I was vibing out, and I said, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So for physical media of the week, I don't really have a media thing, but I'm going to show you this because I'm at my parents' house right now. And so we used to have these portable DVD players.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how small this thing is.
I used to watch Pokemon on
Check it
that.
out. Yeah, we had like the car with the TV in it, and then
Yeah, same.
me and my sister would always fight about what to watch, so we ended up, getting one of these. So
Yeah.
we'd have the car, and then we'd have this.
Yeah.
I think I watched like Casino Royale on this during Hurricane Sandy,
That's so
when that
funny.
was going on. So that's like my memory of it. But
Nice.
just a cool little thing that I have here.
Yeah.
I'll fire that up later.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you for listening, guys. Get excited for whatever we talk about next time. But yeah, I guess let us know what movie is either your favorite or your most anticipated. And we'll see you next time.
See you.